sounds like this. Oh, there's Alexander Mateus. Up. And, Corey Hopkins. Well, you'd better behave yourself, Corey. You already said hello, Alex. Okay then, Corey. But I'll be watching. Just gonna see. Well, there's only one bloke watching now. I wonder where everyone else could have got to. Maybe, I don't know. Perhaps I chose to do this at the wrong time. You'll take now you're trapped in one of the BBC tips while you're here. Let's put some clips. I'm not tour of the BBC. Ah, there's the bloke I was waiting for. Jack Williams. Now I just gotta wait for the others to get here and he'll begin. Why is Corey in this stream? Oh, well, I've allowed him to be in the stream, Jack, if he promises to behave himself. Oh, and sorry about the crashing and clattering downstairs. It's another one of those dinner parties my family are holding. Oh, hey up, Harry. Yeah, I let him on here. If he promised to behave. I just promised to be a good person and not bully anymore. Unlike somebody else we know, a certain Mr. J.H., who I am not letting on to any of my streams again. Yeah, that's the one. I was aware Steve Now's turned against Jack Hull. Heard he isn't doing any more continuity videos. Exposed Jack's cyberbullying. Now you see, if I were to expose Jack's cyberbullying, I would have gone for it in, well, in a more violent way. Turned against him. Oh yes, people turning. Now I can't do any of Rob Rackstraw's voices. Anyways, I was saying about Jack Howell. It's good that people are turning against him. I'd like to crush him on my videos. Crush him! But I don't want to just crush him on paper or on YouTube. Oh no. Oh no. I want to crush him in real life. I want to crush him and kill him. And bury the bits in the bottom of my garden! Sorry. I think I may have just scared some people off. My opinion on Little Bee. Good block. It's got 3 of my favourite shows on it. Engie Benji, Sooty and Pip Ahoy. I think I might have just scared Harry Humble off. And yes, I do remember that Optimals episode, though I don't know the name of it. Ah, there you are. Didn't scare you with me going a bit gaga then, did I? Oh yeah, because I'm glad, because I can go a bit doolally sometimes. Although not as crazy as, you know, I wasn't sure if I was actually acting like Jack Howell said, well, Jack Howell then, when I said I wanted to bury the bits in the bottom of my garden. Oh no. Hang on. Do I have any wiggles? The only bit of wiggles related media I have is the episodes on Brightest Children's Favourites and Happy Children's Favourites. How do I kick someone? we go. I wonder if Mega 51's watching this. Yeah, either Mayday or Oscar. Either Mayday or Oscar Barnett. What's that Reaper doing there? I never noticed that before. Ah, hey up, Ben Brian. Glad to see you've turned against Mr. Jack Howell. I think I liked the Octonauts better when they had just gups A, B, C, D, and E, because with the other ones, I feel they went a little bit overboard. Yeah. What's this? Oh. How do I close this blooming advert? Ah, there we go. Ooh. Apparently, there's going to be a 6th series of the Octonauts in next year, 2020. And it will introduce new environments, new characters, and a new fleet of vehicles. Series. Wait, there was a. Yeah, I know Series 5 hasn't been shown yet. You know, while we're on the subject of the Octonauts, I always thought that Shellington, the otter, was Scottish. Because if he were Scottish, then I reckon Rob Rackstraw could have done a good voice for him, the same voice he used for Isambard in Lavender Castle. Exactamundo. Oh, okay, Harry. Now, Jack, they speak Vegemalese, which is a language made out of chips and warbles that only Shellington can understand. Favourite TV channel? Ooh, that's a difficult one, because I actually have 3 different channels, favourite channels rather. Boomerang, which I don't have, but I like it anyway. BBC Two and Challenge. Mainly because they all show retro stuff that I quite like. Uh-oh. Pardon me. Yeah. Challenge does need to have variety. Yeah, because, they can't just show the chase all the time. What shows do I watch on BBC Two? The Simpsons, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and Ren and Stimpy. Probably ITV3. Don't watch it, but I do know that it has On the Buses on it. Get those buses out, Butler! That was Blakey from On the Buses. I can also do Blakey in an art gallery, looking at Picasso's Guernica, if you want me to, that is. Alright. Look at that, look at bleeding estate, look. Bleeding horses there all over the place. Look at that, I know what I like, and it's not that. I hate you, Butler! That's my opinion anyway. It's strange how out of 116 episodes so far of the Octonauts, the BBC have only released 26 of them. because they released one which had episodes 1 to 8, one which had episodes 9 to 16, plus The Great Penguin Race, and one with episodes 17 to 24. And it also had The Great Christmas Rescue. You see, I reckon that if the BBC were going to release all 50 episodes of Series 1 on DVD, they could have done another one with episodes 25 to 32, episodes 33 to 40. Oh. Episodes 41 to 48, or 40, or 41 to 50, so that would make 6 DVDs altogether. Just like how I found out from my friend Down Under, Mr. MK the Instrumentalist, that the BBC were originally going to release the entire first series of The Secret Show on over 3 DVDs, but they only released 1 DVD in the end. But so, oh, excuse. Ah, there you are, matey. Have I ever heard of the Ultimate episode Adelaide Penguin? Unfortunately not. I've only ever seen the first series. I was going to, but then I had to switch over to the snooker for my grandma. To 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 63, 64, 65, 66. Ah, that would be great, Mayday. But what's the episode? That's the one. I'm hoping to get that episode soon from ITV viewer requests, but because I'll be signing another waiver with them, I won't be able to upload it. Because I could end up being hauled before Her Majesty's Court. And if I end up with a criminal record, oh boy. Okay, I know the episode doesn't exist on YouTube, but at least we can pretend that it's being broadcast, right? What's this? Oh, it's just some more big little cook. The old Just Entertainment website, right? What would I know about them? Just Entertainment. What would I know them for doing? Oh. Okay. And while on the subject of that, does anybody know what happened to Tempo Video in the end? What? Can you hear me all right? Tempo Video label was retired just after Just Entertainment purchased Abbey Home Entertainment. Oh, okay. Company distributed McDonald's Farm. Lost in the Snow. They're also trying to do a reboot of Pinky and Perky. Now, 8-year-old me loved the Pinky and Perky show when it was on CBBC. How old am I? I'm 18. Why do you ask? Pudsey. There's this one particular episode I'm after. Now, that would have been 6-year-old me. There is one episode of the Pinky and Perky show that I'm after, and it's called Pinky Goes Green. No, I was 8. 8-year-old me liked Pinky and Perky. 6-year-old me liked Bill and Ben, Bob the Builder. Stuff like that. Here we go. Exactamundo. Yeah, there's this one episode I'm after called Pinky Goes Green, where Pinky is horrified by the effects of global warming and decides that it's time to save the planet. So with the knowledge that Sir Percival has endorsed the cause, Perky also jumps on the eco bandwagon. And before long, the two porkers are battling it out to see who has the greenest credentials by attempting to transform PPC TV from a carbon-consuming horror to an energy-efficient haven. But when the show goes on air, there's an inexplicable force that is draining all the electricity from the studio, so everyone has to try and work together to create enough power. When they finally uncover the source of the problem, all the evidence seems to point to Perky, but Pinky might not be so innocent either. And yes, I do remember seeing the repeats of Noggy's Toyland adventures around then on CBeebies. I remember one link into one of the episodes where Pui Fong Lee was holding an umbrella and twirling it around. Now, I don't know if that was what drawings. I haven't seen them. Where Pui Fong Lee was twirling an umbrella, it must have linked into either Noddy and the Pouring Rain or Noddy Gets Caught in a Storm. There's a link right there. Oh. Yeah, that must have been at Mayday. Let's see if I can... Ah! Oh. If you can hear who that is talking outside, that's my sister. Anyway, this must be the thing that Harry was talking to you lot about. If I can just... So it looks like... the one from Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Saturday AM, and one other Deke Entertainment Sonic show that I'm not aware of. I don't think I was aware of Monster Cafe being on them. Oh. Yeah, that... Oh. Oh no. Give us a moment. Hang on. What happened to the camera? Oh no. Something's wrong here. Oh. I don't want the thing to show my hairy legs. I suppose that will have to do. Yeah, that's it. Sonic Underground. Now, I wasn't aware Monster Cafe aired on CBeebies. Where does it say that about... Where does it say that on the BBC message board about Monster Cafe? How many episodes of Monster Cafe were there in the end? Because according to the CBeebies website, there were only 4. But... I don't know. This is really, really confusing. Message. What even were the CBB's message boards? Because, I don't think I'm aware of those. Is there an actual, like, link to said message boards with complaints about Monster Cafe, like, on them? Because it does seem pretty weird, that show re-airing on CBeebies. You'd think it'd be aimed at the older age group. But okie dokie. Yeah. It was on CBBC. And while we're on the subject of programs hopping channels, even though Phantom Cat was originally broadcast on CITV, I would have quite liked to have seen it broadcast on CBBC being repeated on CBBC back in 2003 to 2004. Because that way it could gain a new audience. Explore, rescue, protect. The first 2 years, along with the Animal Shelf, and I didn't know Okie Doke was on Nick Jr. Also, it said on Wikipedia about Sooty's Amazing Adventures being broadcast on Nick Jr., but for some reason, I don't think that's true. What was? really? Oh, that's interesting. What episodes were they? Because I know Okie Dokuma Go-Kart Race, Okie Dokuma Helpful Mouse, and Okie Dokuma Talking Stone are up on YouTube at Mo. I might just check how much charge this thing now has. Okie Dokuma New Pet, Okie Dokuma Talking Stone, Burnt Pizzas, etc. Well, I asked CBBC Master if he has any of those, because I had a sneaking suspicion that him and the CBBC on Choice 1 might be the same person. But all he had was Okie Dokuma Talking Stone. Pity. Yeah, no, you see, I always thought that was Super Cruising Superhero, not Souped Up Cruising Superhero. Also, while we're on the subject of all these shows, do you reckon that the Dino Babies could have aired on CBeebies or CBBC? Because, in my opinion, they could have aired on CBeebies. Every single episode. Koryoko fan 2002 is going to be happy, but not terribly happy when she sees that they have watermarks. She hates those. And because I can't stand that stupid woman, let's move on to something else. Rocky and Madodo's was on Nick Jr. as well, apparently. Although in Mayday 51's opinion, that could have probably worked better as a Nickelodeon show. Because it has the usual sort of things you'd expect from something on Nickelodeon. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. And I think Daniel Russell, or VHS and Story Uploader 89, had a VHS recording from Nick Jr. of Rocky and Madodo's once, but for some reason he taped that over. Totally expecting Harry to be doing a live stream at this time instead. Well, the good news is you've got me, so yeah. Don't do live streams when someone else is doing one. Oh. Huh. This is my Jurassic Park t-shirt. If you have a problem and you need a helping hand, cross Bedell and ring the bell, he'll understand. Don't worry, 'cause here comes Okie Doke. The friendliest of folk is Mr. Okie Doke. Okie Doke, a helpful handy man. Get ready for good old Mr. Okie Doke. I was about to play Scribblenauts Unlimited. I have that game. And there is another. And I also had a tryout on Rayman Raving Rabbids TV party today. It's got the only mini-game in the world which you can play with your butt. Yeah, Ernie Wood. He's also done Funny Bones, The Animal Shelf, and Brambley Hedge. Super Duper Sumos, they got guts. That is kind of a little bit ironic, Harry, considering how you don't really like the show. Oh, and in case you haven't noticed, I got another new record the other day. And it is this. Doctor Who and the Pescatons. I haven't listened to it yet, but it's an audio-exclusive adventure. With the voices of Tom Baker, Elizabeth Sladen, and Bill Mitchell, written by the late great Victor Pemberton. A lonely stretch of beach at night, a slithering sound approaching from the sand dunes nearby, and a roar to chill the hearts of even the most hardened followers of BBC TV's timeless space hero, Doctor Who, begins a science fiction adventure to thrill young and old alike. The Doctor and his companion, Sarah Jane, battle against some of the most heinous foes, I said heinous, to emerge from the outer universe, the Pescatons. The Doctor finds himself in the capital city of London, where the population is bewildered and trembling beneath the violent onslaught of a merciless invader. Who or what is the mighty Zor, whose green, slanting, luminous eyes glare out from the dark of night like giant emeralds? What is the powerful alien force that is bringing Earth's civilization to a standstill, threatening to annihilate everything in its path? This is the story of a dying planet, of a deadly weed, and of the merciless creatures themselves. It is a challenge to the Doctor, a frightening race against time. Would you like me to put it on? Because, I've got the record here. You know what? Because you said so, I will put the record on. What I've got to do now is plug it in. This is the actual disc, well, record, and I want to have it on side 1. All I got to do now...
Bluetooth mode.
Yeah, I know you're on Bluetooth mode, but... Oh, excuse. I had a really big dinner tonight, but... That was a literal TV burp.
Bluetooth mode.
Ugh! That was loud.
Bluetooth mode.
My life is an endless journey across the bounds of space and time. A time traveler, drifting amongst the great galaxies of the universe. The TARDIS made an uncomfortable landing. It was as though we had been plucked from the sky by some vast magnetic force, pulling us down into its web. Of course, I had no idea where or in which period of time we had arrived. But we had materialized onto an isolated stretch of beach, miles from any visible signs of habitation. It was a cold, unwelcoming winter's night, with curling white foam gently lapping the shore. And all around us, deep mud banks.
I'm just following the transcript.
My companion Sarah Jane and I decided to explore our bleak surroundings. But as we stepped out into the freezing darkness of the night, we were both overwhelmed by a feeling of deep apprehension. A feeling that we were not alone.
Doctor, where are we?
I don't know, Sarah. But wherever it is, I have an uncomfortable feeling we're not very welcome.
But what do you mean?
It's all too quiet. Only the sea and the wind. This beach must stretch for miles, and yet I got the feeling we're not the only ones here. As though we're being watched.
Doctor, if you're trying to give me the creeps, may I say you're doing a very good job?
What month is it, Sarah?
February, I think.
We could be somewhere in England.
Well, how can you tell?
Position of the stars, wind direction, temperature.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned temperature. It's like the Arctic out here. Even my goose pimples have goose pimples. Hey, oh, wait a minute. Hey, Doctor, come over here. Have a look at this.
What is it?
A notice board.
What does it say?
Why don't know till you shine your torch. Ah, Ministry of Defence. It is dangerous to swim from this beach at any time. Keep out.
Swim? The tide's so shallow here, I doubt there's enough water to paddle in.
Well, then why is it so dangerous? Oh, well. I suppose we must be grateful we're back in good old civilization again.
There are some lights over there in the distance. Looks as though they're miles away on the other side of the bay. There's never make it on foot.
Especially with all this mud around.
Sarah, what is it? What are you looking at?
Oh, on the beach here, look.
Some kind of seaweed.
I've never seen seaweed like that before. It's more like a baby octopus. Yes, look at that eye. Yeah, horrible.
Yes. And the tentacles. Like tinfoil, it's made out of some kind of metal substance.
You know, you're right. It is quiet. There's not even a wind now. Oh, Doctor, why don't we just go back to the TARDIS?
Listen.
What?
Can't you hear it? That sound.
I can't hear anything. Oh, Doctor, you're doing it again. You're trying to scare me. Stop it.
No, Sarah, listen. Don't make a sound. Don't even breathe. Just listen. Something was moving in the sand dunes nearby, slithering its way towards us along the beach. What kind of beast it was, we couldn't tell. But all the time, it was getting closer, closer, breathing, searching, hunting. Then suddenly, as the moon began to emerge from behind dark clouds to give us our first glimpse of the beast that was stalking us,
Doctor!
we didn't wait to find out what it was that had leaped out at us from the shadows, for we just ran and ran faster than I would have thought possible. All I can remember is that I was so terrified I tripped over my scarf perhaps 12 times, or maybe 13. However, we soon discovered that our travels had brought us back into the present day. We were on the east coast of the British Isles, where the waters of the great River Thames flow out into the sea. An underwater expedition, organized by the government, had apparently just vanished without trace from the bed of the estuary. They had been searching for some kind of meteorite, which had dropped into the sea some years earlier, causing serious flood damage all along the River Thames, even into the city of London itself. Now, as you know, I have spent a great deal of my travels avoiding the dazzling array of meteorites which tumble across the darkness of space like millions of bright stars. So it did seem curious to me that with all the complicated technology man has created for himself in this 20th century, he was unable to locate what is, after all, nothing more than an old piece of stone. But Professor Emerson, the eminent astronomer, assured me that what they were looking for was no ordinary stone. For not only was this the third expedition to be lost without trace, the river itself was beginning to show signs of radioactive contamination. Defying the professor's stern warnings of the dangers involved, I decided to undertake my own investigation of the seabed. Down into the murky waters of the estuary I plummeted. It was an awesome experience. Down. My feet finally came to rest on the muddy seabed 60 feet below the surface of the estuary. It was dark, and the water was clouded with the sand which my own arrival had disturbed. But to my intense curiosity, I was totally alone. No signs of that marine life which formed such an essential part of an underwater world. No shoals of tiny, shimmering fish to dart in and out across my path. I was alone in a deserted wilderness. My explorations led me to the mouth of a gigantic cavern, which I estimated had been formed by the impact of the falling meteorite. Inside the cavern, I followed the path of an irregular-shaped tunnel, which had been hollowed out beneath the seabed, and with no visible end. The water was becoming colder and darker.
You don't mind this in the background, do
A
you?
clear sign that the tunnel was plunging down still further into the depths of the seabed. It was getting narrower and narrower, like the gallery of a vast subterranean catacomb. Eventually, I found myself taking a turn to the right. As I did so, something brushed against me. I couldn't see what it was. I could feel something entwining itself around my ankle, holding me in a vice-like grip. I couldn't move. And now my body. All the life was being squeezed out of me.
Oh, alright,
My
yes,
arm.
lover.
Something was wrapping itself around my arm. I dropped the sea lamp. It floated away from me, but as the light filtered back through the darkness, I caught my first glimpse of the alien force that was slowly curling itself around my entire body. A living weed, clinging to me like the tentacles of a giant deep-sea octopus, crushing my bones and preparing to feed off me. It was the same metallic weed that Sarah Jane and I had found on the beach, and which was now glistening in the underwater light, its huge emerald eye penetrating the dark, its tentacles strangling me, tugging, dragging me down. I struggled to free myself, but the dazzling tentacles were cutting into my flesh like sharp wire. The phenomena was all around me. The very blood in my body was being drained away. But suddenly, it stopped. Something had happened. For the tentacles of the alien weed released their stranglehold on my body and disappeared into the darkness of a tunnel, almost as though it had never even existed. But why? Where had the phenomena come from? Where did it go to? Was it the spawn of some far greater alien life force, just lying in wait for the intrusion of every unsuspecting underwater traveler? And what was it there to protect? For a few moments, I just drifted alone in the cold waters of the tunnel, trying desperately to regain all the energy that had been sapped out of me by the life and death struggle with the alien weed. Eventually, I managed to recover my sea lamp. But the scene it illuminated was one that I never again hoped to witness. All around me, floating up and down rhythmically with the movement of the water, was all that remained of the underwater expeditions that had preceded me. A scattering of disconnected human bones and skeletons, with gaping sockets where eyes had once been. Eyes that had been staring out hopelessly, begging for the help that had never come. Moving deeper and deeper into the heart of the tunnel, I gradually became aware of a bright, fluorescent glare reflected on the tunnel walls just ahead of me. I drifted closer, and I discovered that I had reached the final resting place, not of the meteorite, but of some vast, cylindrically shaped spacecraft, the remains of its metallic frame glistening in a pool of blinding light. I tried to shield my eyes, for although the machine had burnt itself out long ago,
Oh, okay.
its metal structure still retained a high-density glow.
You know, speaking as a fan of Doctor Who, I reckon this would have made a good visual adventure for Tom Baker.
The surface of the machine was scored with deep claw marks, as though the occupant had been involved in some life or death struggle to get out. Suddenly, the air in my diving helmet seemed to be getting thinner. There was a pressure in my throat, as though I was being strangled. A heartbeat. That same chilling sound I'd heard on the beach. Now it was in the tunnel. As I turned my sea lamp into the darkness, I could see the creature propelling itself towards me. I had to get away. Away. Away.
Yeah, I think it could have.
That tunnel. The burnt-out spacecraft. I had seen it all before. A long time ago. Sarah Jane helped me out of the water, and I warned her of the threat we were now facing. I knew the enemy we were up against.
Pescatons?
Cunning, ravenous creatures, half human, half fish. Their origins are in the Carcharidiae.
Say that again?
Carcharidiae. Deep-sea water species like the shark.
Shark?
Yes.
That's Carcharidiae.
The pescatons Pescatons are the most voracious
Parker
hostile
Hingaday.
creatures I've ever
Sorry.
known. They'll attack and feed off anything they come into contact with.
But what do they look like, these pescatons?
I suppose you could say they have a head and body with the shape and texture of any of the shark species.
Teeth?
Sharp as nails, fins like claws. Out of water, they tower over any of their human victims.
Just try and visualise that.
Slowly, on two webbed feet. More like some prehistoric beast.
Fish who can build a spacecraft and fly off to other planets?
Yes.
Oh, sounds a bit far-fetched to me, Doctor.
Sarah,
Oh,
the Pescaton civilization...
I was going to say parcel force, but...
...which is far superior to anything here on Earth. These creatures possess amazing powers.
What are they doing here? Where do they come from?
They come from Pesca, a planet that was once covered with vast oceans. Not anymore. Now it's nothing but a wilderness.
You mean you've actually been to this planet?
Well, of course I've been there. I think it was sometime back in the 15th century.
The 15th century? Well, just how old are you?
Pesca belongs to a dying solar system. As the sun draws it closer and closer towards its center, every ocean on the planet will evaporate. Do you understand, Sailor? The Pescatons are desperate to escape before their planet completely disintegrates.
Well, that creature we heard on the beach and on the seabed, are you telling me it found its way here to Earth across millions of miles of space?
Yes. An advance guard, Sarah. The first of the Pescaton migration. A fool, an eccentric, a liar. That's what the experts call me, as they listen to my extraordinary account of the underwater discoveries I made inside the cabin on the seabed. Professor Emerson dismissed as pure fantasy the idea of a sea creature migrating from a planet that he and his astronomer colleagues had never even located. Fantasy or not, out of the river it came, right into the very heart of London itself. The people of this capital city were stunned, helpless against the might and power of such a gigantic force. Their worst nightmares had become a reality. A creature from another world was amongst them. As day turned into night, and long dark shadows stretched across cold, frosty pavements, the city became paralyzed by an ominous silence. There was an air of expectancy as the bewildered people of London waited for the next
Oh,
onslaught
yes.
by their frantically hostile invaders from another world. But the Pescaton, now noticeably weaker in its desperate search for salt water, had retreated into a canal to emerge later in somewhat different surroundings. The creature shuffled its way across the deserted grounds of the London Zoo, its strength gradually declining. For like any fish out of water, it couldn't hope to survive Earth's atmosphere for more than a few hours at a time. But the Pescaton threat was far from over. And if it was to be destroyed, the creature had to be denied access to anything that would help to reactivate its main organic system. But time was running out for the Pescaton. The creature slumped to the ground and lay there like some prehistoric monster, its heart pulsating, until gradually fading to silence. Not a movement. We waited tensely, hardly daring to say even a word. Was it all over at last? Was this unparalleled challenge to our power of logic finally silenced?
Oh, hang on.
Several minutes passed.
Yes, I do. Just gotta... Sorry, I had to pause the record while Because my dad just came into the room, see? Just start again.
For the next onslaught by their frantically hostile invaders from another world. But the Pescaton, now noticeably weaker in its desperate search for salt water, had retreated into a canal to emerge later in somewhat different surroundings. The creature shuffled its way across the deserted grounds of the London Zoo, its strength gradually declining. For like any fish out of water, it couldn't hope to survive Earth's atmosphere for more than a few hours at a time. But the Pescaton threat was far from over. And if it was to be destroyed, the creature had to be denied access to anything that would help to reactivate its main organic system. But time was running out for the Pescaton. The creature slumped to the ground and lay there like some prehistoric monster, its heart pulsating, until gradually fading to silence. Not a movement. We waited tensely, hardly daring to say even a word. Was it all over at last? Was this unparalleled challenge to our power of logic finally silenced? Several minutes passed. I saw two human figures emerge from the shadows. Defying my warnings, they slowly approached the body of the creature, lying there, crumpled up,
Watch what?
beneath the glare of
Sorry,
the bank of floodlights.
I wasn't really paying attention. I'm trying to listen to this and read the transcript at the same time.
More daring figures emerged from the shadows, all eager to satisfy their curiosity.
Oh God, my tea's gone cold.
Soon, the Pescaton creature was engulfed by a
If I
crowd
can
of
still
onlookers.
drink it.
Zoo officials, police constables, soldiers, newspaper reporters. Everyone agreed that this was a night they would never forget. Little did they know how long they were. Without warning, the creature reared up again, striking out at its tormentors with unrelenting fury. The guards scattered in panic. Even in the lion house, the undisputed kings of the jungle shrank to the back of their cages in terror. But for some it was too late. The creature's teeth moved swiftly, plucking out the terror-stricken crowd one by one, tearing at their flesh, hurling them with uncanny strength against the endless rows of animal cages. But although the Pescaton threat was not yet over, its newfound strength was gradually subsiding. As if drawn by a magnet, the creature's natural instinct led it towards its one last hope of survival. The aquarium house. Here at last, the Pescaton would find the protection it was looking for. Salt water, and the chance to feed off those other creatures from the deep, which would be powerless against such a ravenous attack. The Pescaton had to be stopped. I picked my way cautiously into the long, dark aquarium hall, flanked on either side by huge, illuminated glass tanks, bulging with fish. Fins, slimy scales, shells, claws, tentacles. It was an uneasy feeling to know that I was being watched by hundreds of penetrating eyes, waiting, watching. For a moment, I just stood there.
Oops.
Silence. The creature was lurking in the dark somewhere. I couldn't see it, but I knew it was there. And yet, not a sound, not even a movement. Could it be that the Pescaton's strength had finally expired? The heartbeat, still alive. Rearing up out of the shadows at the other end of the hall, I could see the slits of the creature's eyes glaring through the dark like bright embers. Suddenly, and with superhuman strength, Pescaton lashed out at one of the glass tanks. Water came rushing out in a great torrent, sending fish of all shapes and sizes wriggling onto the floor. I tried to get away before all the other huge tanks came tumbling down on top of me. And then the Pescaton collapsed to the floor. It was all over. For a moment, I just stood there, too frozen with fear to even move. And as I looked down, before my very eyes, the creature's flesh was disintegrating. Within seconds, all that was left was the vertebra of a large fish. It was all. At last, the bewildered people of London were able to return to their daily lives without constant fear of the unknown. The relief was enormous. But that night, the sky above the city was dazzled by the blinding lights of meteorites as they dropped one by one into the murky waters of the River Thames. The Pescaton invasion had begun.
That goes there, and that's better. So, what did you all think of that? I'll let you listen to the next side in another live stream. And let me just figure out a suitable position I can. Looks like I'll have to be like this for a while. Not how much charge this thing now has. Nope, it's somebody in the shower. Oh, my hairy legs. Yeah. Try so hard to keep him out of shot. and yet get myself in shot at the same time. Oh yeah, my toes. You know what I think would liven this stream up a little bit? If I were to bring along some old friends. Oh. Oh. I forgot to put it in its, that goes in there. Goes there. And go down. And goes down like that. That. Here we go. Also, I noticed that Jack Howler's got rid of his angry live streams. Oh boy. Now, even though I did act a little bit a bit earlier, you can forgive me for that, can't you? Maybe you hands again. Yeah. Although him nicking my HTV concept and the whole Jack Howell drama thing is the reason why I've gone off the house party a little bit. It's not been cancelled or anything. Just need to find an appropriate time to do it. Anyway, as promised, here are the big four themselves. Anyhow, would you say that the house party has been cancelled? Oh, no, not at all. In fact, you just caught us filming it. Oh yeah. Hopefully, things will be back to normal by next weekend. Yeah, we're aiming to get 13 episodes done, and we're halfway through episode 4. Go Go Gadget Leg Walker. I like that. Yes, we did. That's from one of the shows that T-Pig likes. Octonauts. Really? I didn't know you liked the Octonauts, T-Pig. Oh yeah. I've just never really told anyone. Also, have you lot ever heard of this film called Unbreakable? With Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Well, we were watching it today. And, we were watching it today. And we noticed that on a telly in one scene, you could see an episode from a show with the... about three superpowered sisters with the initials PPG. Yeah, that's the one, Mayday. We also watch Antiques Roadshow. We don't really have time for the Antiques Roadshow. Although, just between you and me, I have always wanted to meet Hugh Scully. But Hugh Scully doesn't do the Antiques Roadshow anymore, Oshawott. I know that. I don't even know if Hugh Scully's still alive anymore. Yep. That same telly on that film also had a clip from Jerry Springer and a cartoon called I Am Weasel. Well, I'd be Captain Barnacles. Oshawott, because he's the adventurous one, is Quasi. T-Pig would be Peso, and PG Tips Monkey, no idea. Pardon me again. So, yeah, I wonder what the time is. Oh, it's only 9:13. But how much charge has this thing got? Well, I've checked. This thing only has 19%. That's 19. So, what do you think? Should I end it now before it runs out of battery? Or carry on until it does run out of battery? Okay. Yeah, because I'll get notifications on here. So yeah, on that film Unbreakable, the episode of the Powerpuff Girls was, Mommy Theorist. Well, I am aiming to get it to, 102 or 104 minutes. Well, not I am. The man upstairs is. And, you are right. You can see Sam the Seagull. Here he is. Ah, yes. Pip pip, old boys. Now, I'm quite new to this live stream thing. Never had anything like it in the war. We just used radio. Did I not tell you I was in a war? In the war. I was one of the Mayor of Brighton's carrier seagulls, you know. Oh yes. Don't want to talk about it. You were the Mayor of Brighton's carrier seagull? Don't be daft. You couldn't carry the Mayor of Brighton. No, not that kind of carrier seagull. I meant I took messages for him. Tied to me ankle. That sort of thing. While on the subject of Action Man, Harry, there was an Action Man obstacle course at Chessington World of Adventures once, themed to the CGI version. Yeah. I think it was called the Action Man Training Zone. How do you know that, T-Pig? Well, I looked it up. Oh, okay. Because it's the IME Family channel, because I know there was this one channel that had... What would you class Phantom Cat as? An action-adventure show or a comedy show? Because if that show was to air on one of Harry's channels, then... Oh dear. Oh, and it's Phantom Cat with an F. And sorry if I keep farting throughout this live stream. I've had a really big meal. It's ruining my diet. I feel like the bottom's falling out of me world. Or more appropriately, the world falling out of me bottom. Boom boom! see, really, that the way that the man upstairs keeps making dirty jokes. I mean, everyone knows there's a recession in dirty jokes at the moment. In fact, the market's falling out of the bottom. Oh, Henrietta's fine. She's just gone to do a bit of midnight shopping. But we're here. Yes. While we're on the subject of Fox Kids and Jetix, I know that Phantom Cat aired on a foreign version of Fox Kids or Jetix. Only trouble is, I'll be blowed if I knew which one it was. Ah, there you are, Chow. You're a little bit late, I'm afraid, because, there's only 6 minutes until the stream's over. So, do you want me to hand you back to the Henry Hand Toys family? Why am I always late? Well, it's not my fault, is it? You've been found guilty of the howling showbiz crime, so welcome to the slumber. We're gonna serve your time. Every type of minstrel, entertainer, and artiste, performing to a limit. So go fetch the audience. Lock your act. Where you ever leave the summer, leave the summer. It's the only way you'll ever leave the summer. Do you know what I was singing just there? Talking telephone numbers. No, I don't think I'm aware of that. I'm gonna have that in my head all day now. Don't know who wrote the summer music, but I blame them. So I guess for the final few minutes, I'll hand you over to the Henry Hound Toys family. Right, so we're yours for the next 3 minutes or so. bye, ciao. And I'm guessing it also has something to involve with surprising the public via telephone calls. Because that's what Cilla Black used to do on Surprise Surprise. Laura laughs. Oh, see ya, Harry. I remember Holly Willoughby did a revival of Surprise Surprise once. Now, I don't suppose I've told anybody about this, but secretly, Henry Hound is a fan of Holly Willoughby. What? That was just a phase! Alright, you got me. I'm a fan of Holly Willoughby. You are a fan of Holly Willoughby? Well, the man upstairs fancies Anne Robinson, so I guess we're even. Okay, now that is going a bit too far. I think we'd better end this live stream before it turns a bit nasty. Well, you heard him. Say goodnight, Oshawott. Goodnight, Oshawott. I love doing that gag every time. So, I guess I will see you next time. Oh, how do I shut this thing off? Ah.